There are multiple ways of doing invoice in the Czech Republic, and the most convenient way to do Czech Invoice is doing it online. It's more convenient than using Microsoft Excel or Google Doc templates, and Pexpats tool is custom made for Czech businesses for generating invoices online and completely free of charge. Each invoice should have date of issue and the due date. The date of issue is the date when the invoice is generated, and the due date is the date when the invoice should be paid latest by your client. The next is your business details. Each invoice should have your business registration details. It doesn't matter if you are a SRO company or freelance with a trade license. You can simply add your ICO number, click search, and the tool will fill out your business details automatically. Also, the ICO number is not mandatory if you are not registered to Czech VAT. Also, if you are registered for Czech VAT, you should toggle on VAT pair, and if you are registered for Czech VAT and charging 21% VAT, then you should toggle on add VAT 21%, and it will automatically add VAT amount to your invoice amount. If you are registered only for light VAT, then you should toggle off both VAT pair and add VAT 21% options. The next is adding your client or customer details with autofill, so you can look for and add your client details by European VAT number or with Czech ICO number. In case if your client is not registered business, then you can add client details manually. For looking for the client details by European VAT number, you just need to have your client's VAT number. You will choose the country where the company of your client is registered, and then you simply add the VAT number of your client. For adding client details with Czech ICO, you can simply add ICO number and click on search, and it will fill out your client details automatically. In case if your client is not registered for business, then you should add your clients manually. Also, if you're invoicing company registered in European Union but not registered in Czech Republic, you should toggle on the option, and it will automatically add information about European reverse charge mechanisms on your invoice. The next is the payment method. Payment method is the method of the payment, how you want to get paid for your invoice. Depending on your payment conditions, you can choose payment details and modify them. If you prefer to get paid to your Czech bank account, you should enter your bank account number and the name of your bank. And additionally, you can also add your IBAN number or SWIFT code if your client is paying from out of Czech Republic. If you are using Revolut or Wise, you can just add the name of the bank as Revolut, and you can add IBAN number. Also, each invoice should have a clear description, rate, quantity, and total amount. You should be clear with the invoice description. It cannot be, for example, salary for December or December work. You should clearly describe for what you are charging for, and the rate is your, let's say, hourly fee for your work. Quantity or hours can be the hours which you worked, let's say, in last month. So in this case, for example, if we are doing invoice for web design of project X, so description can be web design of project X, and let's say your hourly rate is 500 Czech krona and you worked 20 hours. So in this case, your total amount of your invoice for your fee would be 10,000 Czech krona. Also, depending on your situation, you can always modify input fields. Let's say you are working for some project where you are doing web design and you are getting paid on monthly basis. In this case, I would change, for example, invoice description to project name, and rate I would change monthly rate, and of course the amount would be, in this case, let's say 10,000 Czech kronas, and quantity, let's say if you are charging once a month and it's a monthly rate, so I would change quantity to months, and total amount would be, let's say, total salary or total fee. The next is the invoice language and invoice currency. You can invoice in any language and any currency. In case if you invoice in foreign currency, the tool adds automated exchange rate, which can help you to simplify your tax reports and monthly VAT reports. The last thing is preview and download your invoice. After you enter all the important fields, you can preview your invoice, and in case if you find any mistakes or if you want to modify it, you can simply close the preview window and you can make a modification. Let's say you want to change a number of hours from 300 to, for example, 200, and if you want to change language of the invoice from Czech to different language, and if you want to change currency from US dollars here to euros, you can simply preview the invoice again, and in case if everything is good, then you can download your invoice and send it to your client. You can find the link of this free invoice generator tool on the description of this video below. Also, if you do regularly invoices, we would definitely suggest you using our free user account with multiple automations and with so many useful features.